While looking at PTO-driven wood chippers, I was looking for something that was simple, cost-effective, didn't have a lot of hydraulics or anything to do, which means easy maintenance, but also worked very, very well. And I came across this Splitfire 4003. This is a 4-inch capacity wood chipper, but I think its design makes it a step above many others that are out there because it's designed to take in those Ys in the branches. Actually, it has a larger infeed than its capacity. So you could put larger than 4-inch branches in here, but with that said, it's only really designed to take that 4-inch branch. The extra opening is allowed to give you larger branches and have the Ys go through without getting caught. And that's what makes this thing absolutely amazing. No need for hydraulics or anything to push things into it. This thing continues to suck things through, but is also very, very safe to use. Let me bring you in and show you some of the features that this has that I think really takes it above and beyond. We're looking at the infeed, and there's some plastic here, and this is what stops the branches from coming back at you. Now, if you have some sort of catch in there, you can pull these back and you can get in and look at it. But if we look down at what we have, that is your chipper on the bottom. There's basically 2 blades. They are reversible. They are hardened and sharp. You can replace them and buy replacement parts, which is amazing. But you can see how large that opening is, so it can take these branches and just continue to suck them through. This is absolutely huge to me, and the safety design of having plastic here that is going to stop anything from coming out is absolutely awesome.
This goes wrong.
This Splitfire wood chipper is iMatch compatible, or in this case I have the big tool rack quick hitch, which is very similar to the iMatch. You do have an emergency stop on here that can be hooked into the electronics of your tractor. This is very similar to how a rotary cutter is designed with the gearbox on top. Underneath this are some B belts, and those B belts are what drives the wood chipper. So if you overload the wood chipper, you're not breaking a shear pin, you are simply slipping belts. You need to run in and obviously turn off the PTO. That's what this emergency stop would be for. So if overloaded, that's what happens. You can see some smoke coming out of it at times if you do that. Now, another big benefit of this design is you can take these bolts out that are around this large infeed tube and turn this so that our outfeed is not facing towards the back. It can be facing towards the side. It is currently set up in a situation where you could put a trailer behind it on the trailer hitch, blow your wood chips into that trailer, and then dispose of them or move them around as you would like. In my personal opinion, the belts on this are probably something that is a huge benefit because it allows for a little bit of slippage if things are going the wrong way. That's not going to hurt the wood chipper, and it's not going to hurt your tractor. They're easy to replace. You just have to get underneath it, and we'll go through this because this is actually a used model. I'm going to go through and replace the blades and the belts and just get everything up to snuff so we can get out and really show you what this will do. At this point in time, this has been used, obviously, before I had it, and it doesn't have the sharpest of blades on the inside. You wouldn't know it. This thing chips like you wouldn't imagine, and the belts have been on here for some time and are due for replacement. But to get to know this wood chipper, I thought what better time to put it out there, and if I smoke the belts a couple times, no big deal. According to the manual, you shouldn't put anything through here that stops the belts for more than 20 seconds. If that happens, you should probably replace the belts. There also is a tensioner up by the front of the gearbox so that you can tension those belts up, and that is something you should look at once in a while also. Very simple maintenance, and that's what I like about this. There are 2 grease zerks on the bottom, very easy to get to. Don't need grease that often. And it's a simple, easy to use piece of equipment. Now, what I have to warn you is be safe with this stuff. Items can come out of the wood chipper on accident, or there is something that's spinning down there quite fast, and wear safety gear because these branches can get inside, get sucked in, moved around, pushed around, whack you in the face. So it is really smart to wear some sort of hearing protection and also face protection so that you don't get whipped by some of these branches that go through. One of the big things to me was, do I need hydraulics? Do I need something that has a hydraulic infeed? And that just seems like more things to go wrong, more things to work with to make sure I know how to use them. And you don't see a lot of horizontal drum wood chippers out there. And when I seen this, it looked like it worked really well. And in using this, I would say that there is no need to go out and purchase a hydraulically driven wood chipper. This will simply move everything through without issue. If anything gets slightly stuck, it's because of a branch that's getting caught somewhere. That's easy just to run something else through, and it works. This piece is made in Canada, and I think that's huge to me. It's just as good as made in the USA, and I appreciate that they came out with a different design and didn't have it built somewhere, overseas. So you can find a lot of overseas type equipment out there, and yeah, it's cheaper, but it doesn't always work as well, and the design on this really, really works well. Being able to throw branches in with these large Ys, push them through, I think that's amazing. Now, if you read the manual, it says certain branches shouldn't be very long. So if you get up in the 4-inch size branches, they should only be 3 to 4 foot long. I'm throwing in things a little bit larger than that. As I get into some of these branches, they're 10 to 15 foot long. Some of them maybe should have been cut down a little bit more, but this thing took and ate and chewed this stuff up like no other. That to me is what makes this great, because I have this huge infeed area that will take in all these different shaped branches without having to shove it through this little square opening. And a lot of these units just simply have a square or a rectangular opening to limit you on the brush that you can put in, and it works, but it doesn't account for the small branches with a lot of Ys, with a lot of different things sticking out of them, and they stop and they don't get sucked through. That is why they need the hydraulic infeed. Because of that big opening in this, you don't need it, and it is absolutely amazing. I had the pleasure of using this wood chipper today for about 4 hours, and it was an absolute blast. The one thing that really worked well for me is having the small DeWalt saw with me. You could have used a Milwaukee hatchet, anything like that. Having that little saw allowed me to cut different pieces up, get them to the right size, or cut the Ys that wouldn't fit through there up. That was excellent, and something I'd highly suggest if you are using something like this. Have a small saw around. Doesn't have to be a big one, just a small battery operated saw worked excellent just to get things through the wood chipper. That helped immensely. The other thing, having the big tool rack on the front of the tractor where I could keep everything. I had oil, I had the saws, I had of course the camera equipment and everything else up there. I think that is another addition where you can just go anywhere, take anything you need with you, all your safety gear, anything like that. It's simple. That to me is amazing. Check out this split fire. I'll leave a link in the description. I'm going to have a lot more content on this as we go through the year, because we're obviously going to rebuild this one a little bit and get it back out as we cut trails through the woods. We'll show you what happens there. Give us some comments below as to what you think about this guy. I'm curious to hear what you guys think about belt driven, about the horizontal cutting disc. That rotor on the bottom is 100 pounds, which is light compared to some, but it really works this well. Comments below. Like in this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you for your time. Have a great day.